I noticed it before she did. The way her phone vibrated, screen lighting up with a name she thought she'd hidden well. A single message. Just one. But one was enough to fracture something deep inside me. He's here. Don't make me wait. She didn't see me reading it. She thought she tilted the phone away fast enough. She didn't know I'd already memorized her tells. The sudden swallow, the half-breath, the tiny tremor in her fingers. People don't realize how loud guilt is until they're sitting beside someone who can hear it. I kept my eyes on the restaurant's dim lights reflecting off the wine glass, kept my breathing steady, kept my voice level. Calm is a weapon most people don't know how to defend against. She smiled at me, soft, fake, rehearsed. A smile you give someone you've already abandoned. And then he appeared, tall, arrogant, moving with the entitlement of someone who had never been told no. His eyes locked onto her with a confidence that only comes from practice. He didn't acknowledge me, not even a nod. He went straight for her. And when he reached our table, when he grabbed her hand like it already belonged to him, when he leaned close enough for his breath to brush her cheek, that's when the ground under my life shifted. "Why are you hesitating?" he said. "I'm far better than your loser husband. First, we'll dance, then I'll show you what I can really do." My pulse slowed. Not raced, slowed, the way it does before impact. I didn't speak. I didn't have to. I just watched her panic, her eyes darting between us, searching for a reaction that wasn't coming. The loudest moments in life are often the ones where you say nothing. I knew she was cheating long before that night, not because she slipped up, but because she tried too hard not to, too clean, too careful, too considerate. Guilty people overcompensate like their lives depend on it. The late-night showers, the battery-died excuses, the sudden interest in privacy after years of sharing everything. But suspicion isn't proof, and I don't move on suspicion. So I investigated silently. Phone backups, deleted messages restored, location logs retrieved. Even the bank transactions she thought I never checked. Then the real evidence came. A credit card charge at a hotel I'd never been to. 1 room, 2 guests. Paid in cash except for the deposit. Strategic mistakes are the most beautiful kind. I downloaded everything, printed nothing, said nothing. I waited. Patience is the purest form of power. The final confirmation arrived on a rainy Tuesday. DNA results, because doubts cut deeper than betrayal. Not about a child, about me. Was I losing my mind? Was I imagining the distance? Was I paranoid? The results told me what her eyes no longer could. I wasn't imagining anything. Truth is a blade, and once it cuts, it never stops bleeding. I placed the report on the kitchen counter that night, said only 5 words. "Is there anything you want?" She froze. Then she broke. Tears, excuses, trembling hands. The desperate collapse of someone who realizes the performance is over. I listened, not to understand her, to confirm I was right. My silence crushed her more than shouting ever could. But the restaurant was where everything snapped into place. Not because of her betrayal, but because of his arrogance. He tightened his grip on her hand, yanking her closer as if I was already erased from the scene. "You heard me," he said, leaning toward her. "Let's go." She whispered his name, panicked, pleading, not out of love, out of fear, not for him, for what I might do. He still didn't look at me, and that was his final mistake. What happened next lasted less than a second. A shift of my weight, a precise step, a controlled rotation of my wrist around his. Pressure applied exactly where bone meets weakness. A single, efficient motion. There was a crack, a sharp, wet crunch. Then his scream tore through the restaurant as his body crumpled to the floor, grasping a hand bent at a direction nature never intended. People gasped, chairs scraped, someone shouted. I just watched him writhe. Calm, detached, empty. She stared at me with the horror of someone who finally sees the stranger sleeping beside them. I didn't touch her. Didn't raise my voice, didn't explain. I simply pushed my chair back and stood. Her voice cracked. "Please, say something." I did. I left her there, with him screaming, with her shaking, with the truth between us sharp as glass. No closure, no apology, no second chance. Some endings don't need words, they need silence. And as I walked out into the cold night air, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Not rage, not heartbreak, clarity. When trust dies, you don't grieve the person, you bury the illusion. The man she betrayed me for couldn't even withstand a single move. Imagine how weak her lies were.